Hey guys, so we are at the Columbia Cemetery here in Alabama, and this place is super cool. Started back in 1834, so let's show you around. This thing is old and it's got Confederate graves, so I'm excited. Let's check it out. So as you come in, right away, you start seeing some really old grave markers and Confederate flags. Then over here are really old markers, and the school's right next to it here in Alabama. I wanted to share this with you guys because this is just amazing old cemetery. I love the wrought iron gates. Look at some of these graves. 1884. Here's got a Civil War flag and marker. Henry Chables Cravenwood, born in 1844, died in 1874. So he must have been a Confederate soldier. These old graves, our mother. Wow. Those are old guys. The cemetery is very old. Just love the old stones. Here's another one that's marked with Confederate flag. G.W. Richards. June of 1833 is when he was born. He died in 1925 he died. Wow. These are just so cool. Look at these guys. This is beautiful, beautiful markers. Absolutely amazing. Look at this graveyard. It's like a treasure trove of old graves. You don't really see headstones like this much anymore. Wow. It's just amazing. I've got to say the ground is very unstable. This ground feels like it's very hollow. No pun intended. Wife of Dr. J.I. Darby. Look at those old headstones. Look at this one here, Alex D. Wood. Man, those are so cool. Look at this grave here. To an Andrew C. Fulmore, born 1844, he died in 1893. This graveyard's seen some better days. It looks like they're trying to keep it up, but it's a mess. And I've seen this one here. This is kind of neat. This is Samuel M. Dunwoody, July 19, 1871 to May 26, 1929. He was a member of the state legislature in 1923 through 27, member of the State Board of Agriculture in 1923 to 27, Commissioner of Agriculture and Industry in 1927, 1929. So this guy was somebody. I'll be one of the pioneers of this area. And these are just so old. Looks like mother. This may be father. He's got a Confederate flag on his too. And this was a Samuel Dunwood, showing born in 1835. He died in 1880. So, wow. Just amazing headstones here, guys. Look at these. Ooh, that wrought iron gate is old, old, old. He died in 1855. She did. This must be the family plot. Here's an S.L. Solomon, 1859. Look at that. That's a wrought iron. Whew. It's amazing. Like you say, he died of smallpox. Look at this one here. Wow. This is just amazing. The old wrought iron gate. Kunze. Bessie Wood Kunze, 1878 to 1897. Look at that beautiful headstone. Just a whole family here. It's incredible. And it just goes on and on. Look at these guys. These are very old. So guys, my wife happened upon this really cool grave here in Alabama. And this is John McDaniel. And it says here on his headstone, he died and was killed in Chancellorsville, Virginia, May 3rd, 1863. It said he died on the field of battle. "'Tis was noble, thus to die. God smiles on valiant soldiers. His record is on high." How cool is that? What a great tribute to their son at 19 who died in battle. The Confederacy. This is a really neat graveyard. A lot of history here. That's really neat. I've never seen one that actually says which battle they died at. So, so cool. So neat. Let's look around. We've got one here from P.F. Thomas family. There's Rosa. And there's Peter Thomas. Born in 1840, died in 1882. And he's got a Confederate marker also. Look how old these things are, guys. Very neat cemetery. William Jones, Company A, 6th Alabama Infantry, Confederate States of America. They're all over here, guys. Here's another one here. First Sergeant Edward Short Powers, Company 1, 46th Alabama Infantry, August 16th, 1829. He died December 1st, 1890. This is all part of the Powers family. Those old gates. Wow. Very cool. So we're driving through the town of Eufaula, Alabama, and I had to stop and get a picture of this Reeves Peanut Company building. They're so well known for their peanuts here. This has got to be a pretty cool old historic 1903. If you just read at the very top, it says cotton. So maybe at one time this was a cotton mill too. But pretty neat. I love old buildings like that, especially when they say cotton on them or 1903 and all red brick like that. Man, you can just feel the history oozing out of that building. And there used to be a train track right next to it. You can see the old warehouse there. What a neat building here in Alabama. Downtown's very pretty. Quiet. Some more of the old buildings here. Eufaula. There's the old train station and depot. So there's the train station. That's where the tracks used to be, to the side of that. And I just love when you pan over to the peanut company here. So basically the train tracks ran right along the side here. And you had the old peanut and cotton gin here building. Love that rustic look. Look at those doors on the side there. And that's beautiful. The old roof. I just love old factory, industrial. Look at the tank on the top, all rusty. I think buildings like this can be made in some of the coolest things ever. Even if they don't run as factories anymore, they'd make for really cool buildings for everything. Heck, I'd even like to have a house, something this big. Of course, that'd be a lot of house. I've seen apartment buildings like this, hotels, and look at the old wrought iron gates on the bottom there. Just beautiful. That's something you don't see too much in Florida anymore. It's an old Gulf gas station. We just got into Georgia from Alabama. It's a little food store depot, but it's a Gulf station. Now we get some gas here. For nostalgia's sake, love the old Gulf gas stations. Just don't see them. So here we are in Lumpkin, Georgia. And look what I found here in this front yard. There's a Santa sign. Man, they love this guy even in Georgia. So kind of neat. Lumpkin, Georgia is a really neat place. Had a little barbecue here, and we're headed to Florida. Guys, I had to show you this. We're in Lumpkin, Georgia. And only in Lumpkin, Georgia can you get a sign that says Christian gun sales. Gotta love that. Look at these old buildings. Man, this little town and square. Unbelievable. Lumpkin Emergency Services. Anyway, my wife drugged me here because she liked the name. Lumpkin, it matched with pumpkin. So she said, let's go check it out. Stewart County Courthouse, look at that. How pretty. Is that pretty, guys? And the little town square here is just absolutely adorable. I feel like I'm in a little western town. Look at this. I don't know if you remember my video I did of the Georgia town that was all gone, Morden. And I went up to the old building and they had the metal kind of framing. This here one's in concrete. It's got the metal framing on the bottom. Look how pretty that is. Stewart County Farm Bureau. I love the old buildings here. Look at that, guys. Drugstore and museum, Dr. Hatchett's. Man, that's beautiful. This is the old this wood inn. It's got the steel of the old drugstore. And this is their town center here in Lumpkin, Georgia. And we want to stop, do a quick little stop and look at their courthouse and their town square. That way you guys could enjoy it. Some of these old buildings here, just amazing. Look at that. This town is dying for sure, it seems like. The prettiest part of this town is the drive-in. There's cotton all over the place. The drive-in is beautiful here. It's a big woodsy logging community on your way in. I ran into a couple hunters here. We had some barbecue. Four Corners barbecue. Man, that was good too. But kind of neat. Wanted to stop and just show you this. Before you won't be able to find these anymore. These things will either fall apart, fall down, or just be knocked down, which would be a shame, but I see it coming. All right, guys, let's see what else. We're just outside the town of Lumpkin, and I came across some very old CSA graves in a very old cemetery. It's outside this town, but this cemetery is in sad state of affairs, to say the least, guys. Look at this thing here. This thing looks like it's about 300 years old. The tombstone has fallen in. It looks like whoever died there, they were 25 when they passed away. I'm trying to see if I can see a date. And I can't see a date in there, but man, that thing is super old. Look at this old gate. Look at this one here, guys. This one is completely toppled over and just boom into the ground. It's been in that ground for a while. So very sad to see a graveyard look this bad. I love the old graveyards, as you know. If you're watching my channel, you know that. There's an old tombstone. 1857. That's when they died. So I can imagine when this lady was born. Or Bella Brown. She was only 23 years of age when she died. Wow. If you backtrack the math on that, died Died in 1870. Some very old ones. There's a Goddard back there, and a Perkins. Colbert, born in Wilmington, North Carolina, 1840, died in 1907. Company C, 2nd Georgia Regiment. Oh, so we got some veterans in here. They're scattered around. Look at this one here, guys. Wow. This thing is like a pyramid-shaped sarcophagus with a headstone that's completely gone. There's nothing on that thing. Look at these three. Man, the wrought iron gate is just unbelievably in great shape out here. These stones are a mess. I don't know if it's from the constant heat or what is going on out here with this graveyard, but it is a hot mess. This one here, Willie Eva, daughter of I.W. and A.E. Stokes, born 16 January 1853, died Scarlatina, 1855. That's an old one. Look at the old gate. Beautiful. Perkins family, a little more new. And then we've got Joseph W. May. These are old. Unbelievable. Patterson, died 1893. This gate here, I've never seen one like this. The white ironworks. That's awfully pretty. So we stopped at this really cool store, and we're going to go in, check them out. Really cool store. I love all the stuff on the wall. We got Ringling Brothers. Got the heck of a tractor collection here. Look at this. Wow. Really neat. Alright, adjacent to the store are these beautiful pecan trees, and they go forever. I don't know if you can see the pecans there on the tree. There's some on the floor. And they have this really cool shed here. And this one on the bottom here is full of little birds nesting in there. I don't know if you can see them in there. And the mama bird looking at me. The old pump. And then this guy has full-size John Deere tractors that are super cool. They look like they've been in there a long time. They look very dusty, but it looks like he collects them and does something with them. Here's some old farm equipment. And then the pecan farm. I'll give you an overview of everything. There's a gas station. Very cool. So this is our continuation into Georgia. We're in Parrott, Georgia. And we saw a nice old town. And I said, you know what, let's just take a look. And they've got some really cool Civil War graves and old graves here. So I wanted to just take a quick shot. We met a fellow YouTuber. What's the name of that channel? So the name of the channel that we met was Sidestep Adventure. So a little shout out to you. We met your buddy here, and we're gonna shoot your church. So Sidestep Adventures, check them out, guys. They do Civil War stuff and lost graves also. So I'll do a little collaboration with them today, since this is their church. So the first Civil War grave we're coming up to, and this is the town of Parrott. So this is First Lieutenant John Parrott, Company K, 17 Georgia Infantry. Pretty neat. And he was the founder of this town? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He's one of the founders of this town, which is Parrott, Georgia. And he was a first lieutenant in the Civil War. So, wow. Talk about history and being around the corner. And this was just one of those dumb little stops. We decided to say, hey, let's check out this graveyard in this little town. And boom. Met these nice folks, this other channel. And the rest is history for us. So let's walk around, let's take a look. You know, for a small town in Georgia, they've got some pretty big mausoleums here. And some old graves in this little church. There's another CSA marker. That's what I love about history. You just never know where it's going to take you, guys. That's why you got to get out and adventure and do stuff like this. It's absolutely amazing. This is John. Looks like Hammerford. Pretty neat. I want to check. This is giant mausoleum here. This is McKinnon family. You know, it's funny about the graves around here. They just all get this like really burnt kind of look about them. I don't know, just because they're always out here in the sun or some certain type of acid that hits these stones. They all look like they're like burnt. It's really weird compared to Florida. So this is the S.J. Carter and Francis Campbell card, 1914. So these must have been some pretty big people back in 1914, way out here in Parrott, Georgia. Look at the size of this thing. This thing is humongous. Look at that door. That's a solid sheeted copper door. You can tell by the discoloration. But that is mammoth for a place in Georgia. To me, in the middle of nowhere. Man, is that cool or what, guys? All right, we're going to take a look around. Well, we're in Plains, Georgia, home of Jimmy Carter. Even though I'm not politically a Jimmy Carter kind of person, Plains, Georgia is kind of cool. And he does live right down the street. And we stopped in this really cool Plains, Georgia strip mall. Looks like a little cowboy town. And spoke to the guy who runs this planes trading post. Memorabilia, what a cool guy. And his wife's really cool. And they do campaign pins. So kind of neat. Anyway, another thing to see and look at before we head back to Florida. Well, thanks guys, hope you enjoyed it. This is what's in Plains, Georgia, home of Jimmy Carter. Well, continuation here in Georgia. We're by Americus, Georgia, a town. And this has a very large concentration of Confederate soldiers here at Oak Grove Cemetery. And they're right over there, guys. Here's one right here. This is Private H. Walker, Company E, 12th Georgia Cavalry, died in 1870. But look at this cemetery. Man, this place is absolutely amazing to look at. I want to take you over here to the Confederate area of the cemetery. So 129 Confederate soldiers here, 45 of them are unknown. And they are everywhere here, guys. Wow. William Street, Fort Georgia Reserve. Wow. There's so many guys. We got a flag here for them. Some of the names. It's sad when you see the unknown ones. The sergeant. So many guys. It's not just all Confederates here. I believe there were some Union ones from Andersonville. But according to the signage, as many guards at Andersonville were passing away from diseases, almost as many prisoners was. So there was a lot of death and destruction even for the guys guarding the prisoners, which is just crazy. But look at some of the names here.